Imagine driving through a sprawling, unfamiliar city where every single street sign has been removed. No matter how reliable your vehicle is, you're going to get lost. Navigating an academic lecture without recognizing the speaker's signposting language is the exact same experience. Many students fall into what we call the content trap. They hear a barrage of dense, technical vocabulary and immediately try to transcribe every word. By doing so, they completely miss the subtle audio cues that tell them exactly how those concepts are organized. There is a baseline rule to academic listening. Lecturers do not speak in a flat stream of data. They use specific, highly predictable phrases to signal exactly when you need to start a new heading and when you need to drop down into a list of bullet points. To decode these signals, we can break signposting down into three primary categories: introducing, transitioning, and recapping. Catching these cues in real time allows you to map the lecture structure onto your page as the speaker delivers it. Let's start with the introducing category. Speakers often use WH clauses to forcefully draw your attention to a brand new topic. When you hear a phrase starting with, "What I'd like to look at next," or "Why this matters is," your pen should immediately move to the top margin to create a new header. This page shows how academic texts categorize functions. Notice the task: connecting lecture extracts to precise functions, like introducing a main section. Within that category, speakers build order using sequencing language. Words like first and then are instructions to start a numbered list. Next is the transitioning function. This happens when the speaker has finished an idea and needs to physically pull the audience's attention toward a completely distinct point of discussion. And finally, the recapping function. When a lecturer says, "Let's quickly review," they are deliberately slowing the pace. They are giving you a designated window to check your notes and absorb complicated data before the next wave of information hits. These phrases act as the pacing controls of the entire lecture. They dictate exactly when you need to lean in and listen for granular detail and when you can sit back and summarize. Now we face a more difficult maneuver, the compound pivot. This is a high-speed transition where a lecturer closes one topic and opens the next within a single continuous sentence. The cognitive load here is heavy. As a listener, you must recognize the summary of the past topic, so now that we've covered the macroeconomics, while instantly preparing a new heading for the future topic, I'd like to turn to local supply chains. This is a classic trap. Many listeners spend those crucial seconds writing down the recap, completely missing the green light that signals the start of the next major section. Let's test your ear with a specific sequence. So that was the binomial distribution. If we can turn now to the standard deviation parameters. In this moment, you should ignore the complex math and focus entirely on the structural hinge. The structural hinge is the transition phrase, "if we can turn now to." That tiny string of words dictates the entire shift in focus. By recognizing the underlying structure of the sentence, you maintain your place in the lecture, even if you do not fully comprehend every piece of technical vocabulary. Let's put this into practice with active note-taking. As you listen, your pen stays lifted. The notepad remains empty until a distinct signpost triggers an automatic action, a new heading or a new bullet point. This exercise illustrates how matching sentence stems to academic goals predicts upcoming information. Notice how the stem, "Today we're going to look," attaches to a topical conclusion. The signpost gives the architectural frame, and the second half fills it. To make this process automatic, we compiled the lecture decoder matrix, mapping every major phrase for introducing, transitioning, and recapping. Screenshot this matrix now and keep it open as a reference tool during your next live academic session. Listening for these structural signals allows you to focus on the relationship between ideas rather than struggling to keep up with the lecturer's pace.